Well, here it is, guys. Burnt Turkey Day. This is for all you cooks out there. It's 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. It is the 24th of November, 2022. Theoretically, our country and everybody else would call this Happy Thanksgiving. I call it Burnt Turkey Day because that's all we do is kill our birds. Enjoy the flesh. And then hope that we don't get too overstuffed as our stuffing goes. Meanwhile, for those of us still waking up, this is Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, and that'd be me. To those emotionally deprived and sleep deprived zombies, I will be posting pictures of my new device working. It helps when vinegar spray is applied. And bugs don't like that very much. I need to get me more stuff. Suffice it to say, this particular holiday is like one of those other holidays that people dread and people mourn and people have gone crazy over because they cannot deal with the emotional ties that goes along with it. With everybody else scrambling to get their dinners fixed and their suppers fixed and the facilities readied for invasion of the family or friends or anybody else for that matter. For some of us out there, we don't. And emotionally it becomes hard. I have to say this as a reality check because I am one of them. Now, a long time ago I wasn't. To be honest and fair, I wasn't. I didn't mourn as hard, I didn't mourn as deep, and I grieved very less. So I indulged and engaged in all those traditions that we did. You did the prep work in the day before. You get your stuffing fixed, you get your bird ready, you get all the other stuff ready to be shoved into the ovens and microwaves. Not to mention having the kitchen cleaned up and antiseptic as possible because you're dealing with cooking. My particular facility over here, I'm still dealing with the damn bug war, so there's no chance in hell on that. Coffee's good this morning for a camper's coffee. So what happens when you put a pot of water to boil and you grab your dehydrated coffee and you doctor up your coffee cup with whatever you need to and then pour the water in. But other people would consider camper as throwing in coffee into a pot and then boiling it and letting it settle and skimming the stuff off of it and then trying to scoop it up or pour it off into the cups. We call that camper's coffee. I did that before. I don't like it very much. I prefer the dehydrated crystals myself until I get a coffee maker that actually makes decent coffee. I've actually gotten used to this stuff too. Can I be calling it being grateful and thankful for this? Well, I suppose so. But I can tell you that being deluded and not thinking about grieving or mourning or anything else or loss of life or anything else. Just waking up and being truly thankful for all those times and all those years. Dealing with the family, dealing with the cleanup, dealing with the pre-cook. My brother would be doing the turkey. Before him, his mom was doing the turkey. And then before the stove conked out, actually the oven portion of it, I had did the turkey a couple of times. Actually, I had the experience of it. And then after that, silence. No more. Just turkey, no more. So I have to manage with what I've got. It's not easy, and shit happens. And now I have to deal with people, and if they're going to be well-wishers, fine. If they want to invite me over, well, as much as I would relish a good meal, believe me, I would. I'm still dealing with bug wars, and I'm still dealing with hitchhikers. So I have to be very careful of what I do and what I carry over. And I have to manage whether or not, if I'm going to be carrying any extra guests with me that I didn't plan on. It's just not good. However, I will say that I'm still gathering more stuff for a sufficient meal today or two. What goes tomorrow, it goes tomorrow. Today is just for today. Am I going to be grateful? Am I going to be thankful? Would be the question. Am I going to be feeling like the days of yore when I was actually able to feel the stress of cleaning up a kitchen? I still got to clean up the kitchen regardless. Only deeper this time. I'm not looking forward to it either. But it's something I got to do today. I told myself I was going to do it, and I got to do it. Run the dishwasher one more time, make sure everything else is cleaned up. I'm going to take the stuff out and pack it up. And then attack what I hadn't attacked originally and sprayed. I'm not looking forward to that. Not on a day like this. I'm not holding off on it either. I haven't got the time. My time is tick-tocking away. And I've got work to do. I don't like it, but there it is. And I got a very short time to do it. If I can get some of it done, well, actually, if I can get all of it done, what I intend to do, then I'll be ahead of the game and picking up a new game once I have sufficient enough time, and then try that. For right now, I know it's a holiday and people are going to be busy themselves cleaning up and everything else. Well, that's what I got to do. Now, if we're talking about a heavy meal, if we're talking about a heavy turkey or ham or... No. No, it's whatever I can fix at this point. I'll call it a Thanksgiving meal after that. Usually it would be consisting of a bird or ham. I had the chance of buying commercial ham. Even online. I know there are friends of mine out there that don't have the luxury. I don't call it a luxury. I said I had the chance for it and I blew it. Only because I was thinking of saving up for Christmas. And maybe I'd be able to do a little bit better. But like the rest of my friends, we're struggling. And that's all I can say. A very dear friend of mine is struggling with what she's got, and if she happens to get any more supplies, hopefully, maybe God be gracious enough to her. I hope so. Meanwhile, I deal with work. I deal with the food I have. Like the Pilgrims had when they were abundant with all their other stuff. We keep thinking they had wild turkeys. Maybe they did have wild turkeys. But they also had other meats out there. And I'm not about to drive DoorDash crazy this morning with my own damn stuff. So I got to work with what I've got. I still have the stuffing. I still have... yes, I do have stuffing. I also have... I'm not even lying awake yet. I need more coffee. Green beans. Mashed potatoes. Gravy. The starch and vegetable substance of the holiday meal all depends upon what's going to be the main course. Now, either that'll be a canned Spam mixed in with something else, or fried up with something else, and or a piece or two of boiled chicken. Usually from my mama's chicken batch, because I cooked chicken enough for both of us. And it was necessary because she's trying to eat and I'm trying to force her to eat. Reality check. Yeah, it'd be nice to have ham, but I don't have the room in the refrigerator for it. It's not because of the abundance of it, it's because of cartons I've got in there of ice cubes and liquids, waiting for the next time the refrigerator Or this particular refrigerator, I've got conks out, or we get a massive power outage as people keep predicting. It's always nice to have something cold ready to go. I learned that the hard way. It'd be nice to go out to have a nice dinner. It would be nice to go out there and meet people. I'm not bringing my freeloaders with me. It's not the large ones I'm worried about. It's usually the damn small ones that crawl around and just hide from different places. That's what I'm worried about, is bringing an invasion to someone else's place. So I stay. I stay with the invasion. It's not that I like living with these two bastards. It's something I have to deal with. It's a bug war. I'm at war with the bugs. I have to gather forces. I have to gather materials before I can make a major strike on these bastards. Until then, I have to clean up whatever I can in this place. Deny them the stuff necessary. Welcome to Thanksgiving for 2022. Something in the annals of history that's soon to be forgotten, I hope. Yeah, the emotional toll sometimes sucks. Remembering the times of yore, the times of Thanksgiving, both good and bad. How many times I had to keep a kitchen cleaned up, and then afterwards we get the burn in the oven. I still had to clean the damn place up. Countertops had to be antiseptic, not to mention on the ground, before we start the next phase. Then after the cleanup, it still had to be cleaned up again and antiseptic, just so we didn't have any major issues. I remember how many times my brother could put me on food prep. Prepared stuff, prepared the vegetables. Get the mashed potatoes ready. And sometimes we didn't use mashed potatoes, we'd use real potatoes. Where my brother's strength in a potato masher would make wonders of those spuds. And they would. A great deal. A great deal. Yeah, this morning I woke up and having ear trouble. I tested out the new CPAP machine, finally. I had to make sure the area was full of vinegar and other stuff to make sure that the bugs got a hold of the whiff and the poison and decided to scatter. So now the smell's kind of ingrained in my bedroom now. I can deal with some of the smell. It's not poisonous. The machine is so quiet I can't even hear it or notice it, except when there's air pressure coming out of the mask. And from that, with the mask's innovations these days, they have a bivalve configuration. I'm not talking about just one flap. I'm talking about two flaps. Irritating as hell. So if I'm able to maintain my breath at a certain level, I don't have to hear the popping sounds of the valves going closing up and down. Something to look forward to, isn't it? People are rushing off to different places on the freeways and streets, looking for the last minutes or going out. And I got no place to go. I'm not singing the sound of, I'm alone, I'm alone. No, I got freeloaders. I've got freeloaders I have to deal with. As much as I'd like to be somewhere else having a Thanksgiving meal. The turkey and everything else would have to wait for another day. Maybe next month I can actually get enough of Social Security that maybe somewhere I can get me a good turkey dinner if they're still serving it. I'll tell you one thing, the microwave stuff that they have sucks. Oh, I tried to complete Thanksgiving meal that they had. You know, it's the one with the turkey and the stuffing and the gravy and theoretically the mashed potatoes in there somewhere. And it's supposed to be a Thanksgiving meal of sorts. I've tried it a few times. I gagged on it a lot of times. Brown gravy, God. Give me a white gravy or chicken gravy. That works. But brown gravy? Oh, God. Give me chicken gravy. Or if I have to, I'll make the white gravy myself. But that's why I'm waking up, getting myself ready to get over to the local mini store to get supplies needed for this. As much as part of my body wants to go back to bed and sleep, and believe me, it does. I haven't slept. I hadn't slept a long while in the days and years. The machine I've got has lasted this long, and it's now officially retired. I'd wake up for the past year and a half coughing my lungs out. Coughing black shit out. It's only because of the damn grinding of metal and stuff. And whatever kind of shit was coming out of it. Even though if I kept cleaning the filters left and right, it was still disgusting. And I couldn't sleep as much. This machine's allowed me to sleep a little bit longer, though. Despite the fact I got the bivalve problem in the mask. But at least I'm sleeping. Okay, pretty shortly, I'm going to be heading over to the liquor store. I said before. I'm just getting this stuff off my chest. In any event, anything else happens at this point. I've also found out some things from a friend of mine. Certain things that I hadn't realized. And they're still blowing me away. I may have to do a video on that one. Meanwhile, it is the National Thanksgiving Day, declared a long time ago, where everybody is going to be declaring themselves grateful and thankful for something. Either sarcastically, brutally, realistically, or just whatever. I call it a happy burnt day, or burnt bird day, because we're killing turkeys. We're killing them in the oven, basically. Not when they're already alive, but already the dead carcass, and we're cooking it up to a golden perfection, or we're throwing it into a vat of hot oil and killing it that way. I never had a fried turkey, and I never will. Turkey for me has to be roasted, or at least rotisseried. And it is only with onions and poultry seasoning inside. And on the outside, the skin has to be massaged. Lots of butter. The skin has to be lifted up, and the inside muscles have to be covered with this stuff. And it's got to be set in the oven sometimes for 4 or 5 hours, depending what kind of bird we're talking about anyway. And during that time, food prep continues. Well, I got everything boxed and canned up right now anyway, so it'll take me about an hour just to get that shit going. But concerning about the main course, as I said before, it's either some of the chicken I've got left, boiled live, as it was, or the can of Spam. But there is, an old-fashioned way that I remember back in my school days, how they would serve Thanksgiving meal. They'd cube the meat. Not the white, but just the dark meat. Cubed and pressed, or pressed and cubed, actually. And they would mix it in with the chicken gravy mix, the watered-down crap they got. And they used the instant mashed potatoes, not real ones. They put the mashed potatoes in a scoop. Sometimes look like a huge mound. And they would pour a cup of the broth with the cubes in it and serve it up to the kids. Oh, yeah. That was Thanksgiving way for them. Or on some occasions, they would feel inclined to do so. There was no special requests or no dietary concerns. You ate what you were given, that was it. What I was given. As an elementary school kid and a junior high kid, but not senior. Senior, I never did indulge in the food poisoning over there. So I never did recognize what our cafeteria ever looked like, except looking at Facebook pages on that. But junior high and elementary school, oh yeah. I wish I remembered old cold water. I was always brown bagging it there in that time. I didn't indulge in the food over there. Not until I got over to Canterbury, and then I indulged in the food over there. And it was a school pizza that everybody went crazy over. Especially when they had the square things of artificially created sausages. It tastes like sausage. Those were the best pizzas. And being milk monitor. I think I did that a few times over at Coldwater and at Canterbury. But yeah, the turkey stuff was over there, and I was also over at Patrick Henry Junior High. And yes, I did indulge in the food over there. Speaking of which, time for this kid to go. I'll keep in touch.